So we were discussing about, rather we discussed about decision making, right? So what is decision making? Decision making is a process, right? Decision making is a process by which from a given set of alternatives, we choose the best course of action so that we can achieve our goal. Okay. So in order to achieve our objective or goal, we have different ways, different alternatives, and decision making is the process by which we choose the best among them. Right? Then, what are the limitations of decision making? The limitations were, one is it is a time-consuming process, right? Because we need to analyze all the merits, all the demerits of each and every alternative. We need to take the advice of other people, right? So it is a time-consuming activity. Then sometimes, for the sake of others, we might have to take some compromise decisions, right? Because when many people are involved, many decisions will come, many alternatives will come. So finally, even though it may not be the best decision, we will be forced to take some compromise decision for the sake of maybe unity, for the sake of convenience or something. Okay. Then sometimes biased decisions may be also made. Right? So biased decision means when the decision maker make the decision, if he looks out for himself or his friends, okay, then he may take biased decision that will benefit him or his friends. Right? So that will be bad for the rest of the company. Then limited analysis may be taken. The first point we said it's a time-consuming process because we need to take all the factors into consideration. So what will happen is sometimes the manager, maybe because he's lazy or maybe because of his inexperience, he may not have considered all the factors. So only limited analysis has been done. Then uncontrollable environment factors. So there are things which is beyond our control, right? Within the company and outside the company also. Maybe a strike can come. Okay, the workers can go for strike within the company. Or a lockdown can come outside the company, like that. Then uncertain future. This is the thing which we have been saying from the beginning. So whatever we are doing it for the future, and we know future is uncertain. Okay. Then we said decision making is evaluating a given set of alternatives and selecting the best among them so that we may reach our goal or destination, right? So evaluation is needed to select the best among the alternative, and here we make the ultimate decision. Right? When the alternatives are considered, manager must compare all the alternatives while making his decisions. And what are the factors he has to consider? He has to consider qualitative and quantitative. Okay, quantitative means which can be measured. Okay, in terms of number. Right, so they are tangible. Right, qualitative means those which cannot be measured. Okay, so the profit, that's the quantitative factor. The quality of our labor, that's the qualitative factor, right? Then what are the techniques for evaluation? So we have the first technique is marginal analysis. And what do we do in marginal analysis? We find out what will happen if we change something, right? If we produce one more, okay? If we are producing n units every day, what will happen if we produce n plus 1? Okay, so what is the change in the marginal revenue? That is, so we have two terms, marginal revenue and marginal cost. Okay, so marginal revenue means what is the change in the revenue when one additional unit is sold. Okay, marginal cost means what is the change in the total cost when one additional unit is produced. So we find out what is the marginal revenue and marginal cost, and this is they compare, this is the margin analysis. So if the cost or if the revenue cost, the marginal revenue more than the, then we can conclude that we can, and if revenue less cost, that we earn by producing more. That is, we can earn more by producing less, right? So that is margin analysis. And second one is cost effective analysis or cost benefit analysis. Here what we do is, what we normally do, we'll take out the total benefit and cost involved is consider the total benefit is more, then we have net benefit is more than the cost, we'll say it is a good alternative, right? So we have what we have to understand here is the term net and total. Okay, total or gross, okay? Means see, as we have said, example of a biryani, right? A biryani costs 150 rupees. So if I'll pay the hotel owner 150 rupees, right? That is the gross or the total, right? And from that, the owner is not getting 150 rupees. He's spending some money for the preparation, labor, the equipment, everything. So after deducting all of these expenses, what remains in his hand, that is the net. Okay, that is the profit. That is the net benefit, right? So alternative that gives a maximum benefit at minimum cost is selected. Okay? That's how evaluation is done. Now how selection is done? Selection is based on three tools. That is, one is experience. Okay, what has been done. It may be by ourselves or by our acquaintance or by someone who knows. Maybe in part of a history. Okay? We know what that faced, like that. So experience is a guide. Then comes experimentation. Experimentation, we are implementing and seeing what will happen. Okay? We'll implement the alternative and see what is happening. So whenever we say we are implementing something, it will require money and manpower, right? So when these things are implemented, that means we are spending something. So this becomes expensive, and we don't know whether this alternative is gonna work or not. Okay? So this becomes expensive, and we should use this method only when all the other alternatives are tried out. Okay? And the best method is research and analysis. So research and analysis, when major decisions are involved, what we do modeling, right? Like you guys, what you do in ETAPS, model a building, right? Rather than constructing a building of set dimensions, okay? Column beam width. Rather than that, what are you doing? You are modeling it out. You are making a computer simulation and seeing what will happen if I give this much of rebar, if I give this much of dimension. So what will happen? Sometimes it may collapse. The result will be unsafe, not safe. Okay? This is an unsafe building, unsafe model. So you can correct it, right? So that kind of modeling works will be done. So qualitative and quantitative analysis will be done. Then we have two types of decisions, right? Program decisions and non-program decisions. So program decisions means those decisions which is made on a repetitive basis, right? Which is made on the repetitive basis, and instructional. That is, we are following the rules, regulations, the policies, procedure, and all are being followed while making such a decision. Like we said, an example of like the purchase manager. Okay, when a request comes for a purchase, he knows what has to be done. Right? He'll notify the people concerned. Then what he'll do? He'll order the thing. Once he gets the sanction, he'll order the stuff. Right? So whoever may be the person, okay, even if the person changes, the decision will remain the same. Even programmed decisions. And non-programmed decision means those which are ill-structured or non-recurring in nature, right? So this is very subjective because we haven't seen such a situation before, right? That kind of decision under unfamiliar circumstances which we make are known as non-program decision. So there are different techniques for making non-program decisions. First one is Delphi method, right? What happens in Delphi method? In Delphi method, we'll call up a panel of experts, then we'll give them a questionnaire. Okay, they will be filling out the questionnaire, and once the questionnaire is filled out, we'll collect the question, we'll collect the answers, we'll tabulate it, and then we'll announce it. Okay, so question A, 5 experts said yes, 5 experts said no. Question B, 6 experts said yes, 4 experts said no. Suppose we are having 10 experts. These things will be announced, and after that, what we'll do? We'll again give them the questionnaire back and say, if you wanna change your answers, you can change your answer. Okay, this is done on a repetitive basis until and unless we get some sort of an agreement. Okay, a consensus is achieved. Until another, we'll be repeating this. Right? This is Delphi method. Then the second method is nominal group technique. Okay. So nominal group technique, what we do, we make a set of members. A group is made, and all the members are required. Okay. They need to produce and give out an idea. Okay. Then interaction can take place. So then we can refine this. So everyone said, okay, what is the problem with this idea, or what is the good? We said, what are the pros of this idea? What are the cons of this idea? So we'll have an interaction. Then we'll cut short it out. Then third is experience. Okay. So experience, my own experience or experience of others will be considered. Then tools will be used. Statistical, qualitative decision making tools like Monte Carlo simulation operations, linear programming, break-even analysis, etc. Right? So using those kind of decision making tools, that is mathematics, using mathematics and statistics. Then the final method is quality circle. Quality circle means a group of employees from each department, they get together voluntarily. The important thing is that it should be voluntary. Okay? They get together voluntarily. They'll discuss what's happening, what is the problem with if any project is happening, what is the problem with that project. They'll discuss on the project, and finally they'll arrive a solution. Okay, they try to solve the problem, but it has to be done voluntarily. So Delphi, nominal group method, experience, then tools using maths and statistics, then quality circle. All these methods can be employed while making a non-program decisions, right? So program decisions are recurring in nature. Non-programmed are non-recurring. The problems are structured. And non-structured decisions are relatively simple and have a small impact, short-term impact. In non-programmed, complex decisions are made and have a long-term impact. Decisions are guided by policies and procedure. Decisions are depend on the situation. Non-programmed decisions depend on the situation. Usually, program decisions are made by lower management because it is structured, right? So lower management can make this decision, but non-program decisions are usually taken by top-level management, right? Then came decisions under three conditions, three scenarios, right? Certainty, uncertainty, and risk. So decision under certainty means we are certain of the future. So before itself, we were saying the future is uncertain and we cannot predict accurately 100% accuracy. But what uncertainty means, we are assuming that we know what is going to happen. Okay? We are certain what is going to happen. Okay? Based on that, we are making certain decisions. And a common technique for this one is linear programming. Okay. So what we do is benefit or profit is expressed in mathematical as a variables. Okay. Sales, more sales plus less marketing cost is equal to profit, like that. We'll be forming equations. Okay. Mathematical functions are made, and then we'll solve this set of equations. Okay. And the sets of equations will solve. So finally, what we'll get is for each variable, we'll get a value. Okay. Right? When we solve problems like 3x plus 4y plus z is equal to 5. 2x plus y. So if we have three sets of equations and three variables, we'll get four values for x, y, and z. Similarly, here also we'll get the values for decision variables. Okay. So what is the condition? We will be looking for maximum benefit or maximum profit given under a certain constraint. Constraints will always be there. So because we cannot go beyond a certain production, we cannot go beyond a certain sale. Like the constraints will be there. Based on that, within that constraint, how much is the maximum? Okay. Within that constraint, what is the maximum amount which we can acquire? So in order to acquire that maximum amount, what is the values for each of the decision variables? So decision variables will depend upon the situation. Okay. It may be production, it may be marketing, it may be sales, it may be wastages, right? So decision variables will depend upon the situation, and we'll be finding out the solutions for each, finding out the value for each of these decision variables so that we get maximum benefit, right? But what happens is, because we know our market, the business is very complex and very turbulent because it's changing very rapidly, right? So few decisions are made under certainty. Very few decisions will be made under certainty. The second one is decisions under uncertainty, right? So uncertainty occurs when several future states of nature are there, but the probabilities of each of these occurring is not known, right? So uncertainty means again what we are facing. We know there are many options, many alternatives are there. We know that it is there, but we don't know what is the probability of occurrence of each. Okay, we know there's an alternative A, B, C, and D, but we don't know how much is the probability of each. In that case, we have uncertainty. So, in such situation, decision makers choose from the following approach. So, we have different approaches. So, first is maxi-max solution, right? Maxi-max. So, this kind of a solution means here the manager is optimistic in nature. Okay, what the assumption is that whatever is our decision, okay, whatever may be the decision which we take, the result will be the best. Okay, so whatever the decision we are taking will have a best will happen, right? That is maximum solution. So what will happen here? What is happening is selecting the best possible outcome for each decision. So we have alternatives A, B, C, and D. So what the manager will do? He'll consider A. Okay, what is the best thing which will happen if we choose A? What is the best thing that will happen if we choose B? What is the best thing that will happen if we choose C? And what is the best thing that will happen if we choose D? So considering all these four best things, he'll take the one which is best among them. Right? So the assumption is whatever is our decision, only the best thing will happen. Max. Everything is maximum. Okay. Whatever is the decision, only best will happen. So for each alternative, the maximum benefit is considered, and then it is maximum of the best among them. That is maxi-max solution. Clear? Then maxi-min solution. So maxi-min solution means this is taken by pessimistic. Okay, decision maker. That is, he feels everything will, whatever will happen, only bad things will happen. That's the pessimistic sort of person. Okay, whatever I do, only bad thing will happen. That kind of a attitude, if you have, you are a pessimistic person. Okay, and if I do whatever I do, and only the best will happen, it is you are an optimistic person. So maxi-min. So maxi-max, maxi-min. Min solution is taken by a pessimistic person. Okay, so here what we do is again we have four alternatives, right? Suppose we are having four alternatives A, B, C, and D. So here, being a pessimistic person, he say what he look into what is the worst thing that can happen, right? What is the worst thing that may happen if I choose A? What is the worst thing that will happen if I choose B? What is the worst thing that will happen if I choose C? And what is the worst thing that will happen if I choose D? And out of these four things, which is the least worst? Okay, least worst. Based with suppose B is least worst, you take B. So B will be chosen, right? So what is the condition over here? Here is the decision. Decision B will give us the least look. It will okay. The of B, he has chosen A. It will have the loss. So in maximum, the losses are considered. The worst case scenario is considered, and worst case for all the four alternatives. Suppose there are four alternatives, all the four alternatives are considered, and among them, which one is the least worst? The least worst that is taken. Okay. And what is the result of this? Okay, for that problem or for that decision, this decision will give us the minimum loss. Yes, that is the principle over there. Third one is mini-max solution. Yeah. Don't get confused with max and max. Versus max, then it's maximum, then it's mini-max. So it is between, okay, between optimism and pessimism. We 10, right? That's maximum, mini-max. Okay. The fourth one is right. So earlier we had said that even though we are having an alternative, we don't have the probability of occurrence of each. Okay, that is the condition for uncertainty. Right? We know there are different possibilities are there, but we don't know what is the possibility for each of these alternative. That was the condition, right? So, but in Laplace Criterion, what we do is if we have n n alternatives or n possibilities, what we do, we assign each of them a probability of 1 in n. Okay, if there are 5 alternatives, each will be having a probability of 1 in 5. Like that, we are assuming. So, assumes the probability of occurrence of all future states are equal and is equal to 1 in n. Okay, we are assuming that there's a equal occurrence. Okay? Assumption. It is not true. So we are just assuming that for sake. And using this assumption, we compute the expected payoff for each of the course of action. Okay, how we don't need, using the assumption that all the states, all the have probability of 1 in n. Okay. Based on that assumption, we calculate the expected payoff. Okay, what is the expected result? And the one which gives us maximum expected value is regarded as optimal. Right? Then decisions under risk. So first one is decision under certainty. So decision under certainty, decision under certainty, and under risk. So this is the decisions under most common scenario. Okay, how decisions are made in the most common scenario. Most common scenario is decision under risk. Whenever we are taking decision, we will be taking decision under risk only. So this as follows. What we have to follow a certain steps. So one is define problem. Identify all like what we do. It's problem and what are or what then identify all this what says make my main what I have this and search. This thing has to be identified. This is out of this. So this is the based on monetary payoffs in reference to assets of time, right? So here again we from market. So we need to invest something. So for friends, if you are having cuisine, we have to have certain ingredients. A chef should be the that should be required. We need to expense for that. We need to input some assets and time into that. So what is the based on that input? What is the result we are getting? Outcome we are getting in terms of money? That is to be discussed. Then what we do? We allocate a probability of occurrence for each uncertainty. Okay. In Laplace, what was it? Each had a same equal probability of 1 in n. But no, here what we do is we will assign a probability for each of these alternatives. Then we are the one who have decided the alternative, and we are the one who are assigning the probability. So the quality of our results answer will be depending on this. Okay. After allocating the probability, we'll do a sensitivity analysis. Okay. And then we'll get the result. Okay. So how do we do sensitivity analysis? So sensitivity analysis means we are measuring the responsiveness. Okay, we are analyzing the responsiveness of the independent variable given change in the dependent variable. Okay, what will happen to the independent variable if we change something in the dependent variable? Okay? We'll be considering that. Okay, what will happen to independent variable when we make a change to a dependent variable? So, sensitivity analysis things we'll find out what is NPV and IRR. So, NPV means net profit value, and IRR means internal rate of return. Okay, NPV means what we are finding out what is the present value of all net cash inflows to the investment. Okay, so we are investing an amount into the, we have invested an amount, right? So what is the return? What is the income? Okay, what is the present value of the income that has been considered? Okay, what is the present value of all net cash inflows to the initial loan? So I have invested rupees 100. What is the amount which I am getting today? Okay, that is net present value, right? Similarly, we have rate of return. Rate of return means what is the present value of the future cash inflow? Okay, so I am investing rupees 100 today from 1 year. After 1 year, what amount will I get? Okay, what is the present amount? So I have invested rupees 100. After a year, I may get 150 rupees. Okay, now what is the present value of that 150 rupees today? That is again considered. That is rate of return. These two factors are considered. Then mathematical relationship is established between the dependent and independent variables. We are studying and analyzing the impact of changing variables. And in general, if we show, if the project shows more sensitivity, means that's the more. You need to understand only what, not going to very deep. That's all we need to discuss. So in sensitivity analysis, what we do, we variable with the PV or IRR, right? And NPV means net present value, IRR means initial or internal rate of return. What are the factors that affect the present value, and what are the factors that affect return? So these factors are considered. And so NPV means what is the amount, present value of the net cash inflow to the initial investment. I had invested 100 rupees in 6 months ago. Now what is the present value of income which I am getting? Okay, internal rate of return means what is the value? Say for after 1 year, I am getting 150 rupees. What is the present value of that 150 rupees today? That are considered. And what are the factors that affect NPV and IRR considered? Okay, then we establish a mathematical relationship. Then what is the impact is studied. Okay, the ones which show, the projects which shows more sensitivity are the ones which have more risk. Okay, the second method is decision tree analysis. Decision tree analysis is one of the most effective methods for assessing risk. Okay, so which is the decision which we make under common thing? It is most commonly made decision is decision under risk. Okay, and one of the most common method is decision tree analysis. Okay, so basically a decision tree means it's a schematic arrangement of the decisions. Okay, we read from left to right. We have nodes and branches. Okay, the square nodes denote decision, and the circular one shows us chance. Okay, so here we have example. We are going to develop. So we are going to develop a new construction technique or a new material for plastering. We are making a new. We are developing a new stuff, right? So what are the possibilities? Either it can succeed or product can fail. Okay, so when the product succeeds, the decision has been made. Okay, when the product succeeds, we have an option, right? Once the decision is made, we have a chance that product may succeed and product may fail. That's a chance. Okay, so that is represented by the circular node. Development program succeeds. Once it is succeed, then we have to make a decision. That is whether we need a large plant or a small plant. Okay, when the chance shows the development program fails, it will show. So once again we have to make a decision, plant size. Then once the decision is made for large plant or a small plant, then again there are two chances. Okay, one chance everything goes according to plan and the completion time is 8 months. Other chances the completion time is 12 months. Something went wrong, the maximum will take 12 months, like that. Okay, so this is how a decision tree. So here what we can see, all the possibilities are shown. So it helps us making a decision in a much quicker and easier manner, right? And the final topic in this subject in this module is creative process, right? So what is creativity? So creativity refers to the ability to develop new ideas, right? Like, see, we we plan for we are planning for text and arts, right? Arts, XC21. So what we did? We are asked for input from you guys. Right? You guys are thinking about it. You guys are giving out our ideas, right? So that is creativity on your part. Okay? You are thinking about something and you're giving new ideas. You are creating new ideas. So creativity refers to the ability to develop new ideas. And innovation means use of these ideas. Okay, you have developed some idea. Now you need to use these ideas. That is innovation. And how does the creativity process work? So it consists of 4 phases. Okay, the 4 phases, they are overlapping and they are interactive. So consist of 4 overlapping and interactive phases. Okay, what are these phases? One is unconscious scanning, intuition, insight, and logical formulation. Okay, we got unconscious scanning, intuition, insight, and logical formulation. So first one is unconscious scanning, right? So it is unconscious scanning means it's beyond consciousness. And what is consciousness? Consciousness means it's awareness. You can say it as in Malayalam. You say bodham, right? It is beyond that. See, sometimes we know something called eureka moment. Okay, so we'll be so much involved in that project, and we don't know from where an idea has come. Okay, whenever sometimes you're doing a mathematical problem, so you'll be doing it again and again. You're not reaching the answer, but suddenly somewhere something will happen. Okay, you don't know what is the source. That kind of a moment, that is unconscious. It is beyond consciousness. It requires an absorption in the problem. You need to be completely engrossed into the problem. But what happens is, in reality, we are working under time constraints. For example, see, if it's an assignment or a problem which you choose on your own, you will have enough time. But if you are doing it in an exam, you don't have time to spend on the problem. Right? You would have given 10 minutes. I'll finish the problem within 10 minutes. Then I move on to the. So in similar way, managers are also working under time constraints. And what they do is they'll make decisions prematurely rather than completely getting involved in this, dealing thoroughly with ill-defined problems. So unconscious scanning means you are going beyond the consciousness. Consciousness means awareness. So in Malayalam we can say bodham. Right? You're going beyond that. So you're completely into that problem. You're completely absorbed by the problem, and finally somewhere you will have a eureka moment like that. That is phase 1. The second phase is intuition. So intuition means it connects the unconscious with the consciousness. See, in Malayalam we say avabodham, okay, or sixth sense. Okay, that is intuition. So intuition connects the unconscious with the conscious, and it's need time to work, and it will take the time and effort because diverse ideas and concepts have to be integrated. It's time to work and requires people to integrate diverse concepts and ideas. Okay, so one way of promoting intuitive thinking is by brainstorming technique. Usually we have brainstorming sessions, right? Whenever you will be given a problem and you will be asked to give out ideas. Okay, so you guys will be giving out ideas, and so you hear from someone else. Okay, you will give. Okay, I'll have this idea. Okay, you may not know you had this idea within you. Upon hearing some comments, you will say, okay, this will be better than that. That is intuition. Third phase, insight. Insight means understanding, basically understanding. Okay, ulkaisha. Can I say ulkaisha? Or it is understanding. It is the result of our hard work. You have understood the problem. Okay. Then finally, phase 4 is logical formulation or verification. Okay, so you have an understanding. Now your understanding has to be tested. Okay, you know that will work. Okay, or you think that will work. Now you have an understanding that this is the solution. Now that has to be tested, and that has to be done by experiments of logically. Okay, clear? So creative process has 4 steps, 4 phases, and all these 4 phases are interconnected or overlapping. overlapping. Okay, so first one is unconscious scanning. Unconscious scan, which beyond our conscious. That is, once we are completely into that problem, you will have something like an eureka moment. You don't know from where your answer came. Okay. Second one is intuition. Intuition means your sixth sense. Okay, it connects the unconscious with the consciousness, and it actually takes some time. Okay, one of the idea for promoting intuitive thinking is brainstorming sessions. Okay, third one is insight. Insight means it's your result. Okay, what you have got, what's your understanding. Okay, and once you have this understanding, you need to verify it. Okay, is this the solution? You need to do some experiments, or you may have to subject it to logical framework, right? Finally, we have see what is brainstorming. Okay, so brainstorming is one of the very good method for facilitating creativity. Okay, so it is developed by Alex F. Osborne. He's known as the father of brainstorming. Okay, Alex F. Osborne. So the process of generating creative ideas and solutions through intensive and unrestricted group discussion. So you are given 100% freedom. You can say anything you want on that topic. Okay, it can be intensive about it. Okay, you have an idea, you can have vehemently, you can put forth that idea. Okay, you are given complete freedom. Okay, unrestricted group discussion. Then multiplication of ideas sort. So I'll give out an idea, then someone else will give out an idea, so that like that they may add to it or may object to it. Like so, it is multiplication is done. So brainstorm is a structured process. Okay, so that we are gonna fight. Okay, the structure falls and falls. That is, certain rules have to be followed. One is no ideas are ever criticized. Okay, okay, you cannot say that okay, this idea is bad. You can, what is this angle? No, you can add to it only. Okay? The more radical ideas, the better. Okay, think outside the box. Then quantity of idea production is trust. Because we need more and more ideas. It's not that 1 or 2% will give out an idea and the rest will sit idly. No, we need more and more ideas, and improvement of ideas by others is required, right? So others has to improve an idea. They should not criticize the idea, but they should and improve the idea. Okay, so we'll stop here. Please let me know if you have any doubt.